Hello, everyone. Welcome to Gurucool Collective. Today, we're hanging out with Pratik Shrestha, a Nepali cybersecurity researcher. His work explores side channel attacks and defenses that make everyday computing safer, from Kathmandu classrooms to North American labs, and now to a Russel Group of Universities research position in the UK. His story is one about persistence and turning curiosity into real world impact. If you're into cybersecurity, this episode is definitely for you. So let's dive in. Hello, Pratik. Pleasure to have you here today. Could you please introduce yourself? And while you're at it, can you also walk us through your path into cybersecurity?
Yeah. First of all, thank you so much, Dai, for this amazing platform. Like, uh, and I'm your big fan, Pratik Shrestha from Kathmandu. So currently, I'm doing my PhD research in microarchitectural security, especially the cache-based side channel attacks in one of the Russel Group University here in the UK. So getting into cybersecurity was, for me, it was kind of random because uh, before getting into the cybersecurity, I was studying bachelor's in computer science in Paris. So, but unfortunately, I have to return back to Nepal without completing the bachelor. So it was a lot of uh, back and forth from Nepal to France, France to Nepal, because I was in a really big dilemma that I should continue my study in foreign land or I should return to Nepal. So I did what my inner instincts told me. Returned back to Nepal from Paris. I immediately joined one of the foreign affiliated colleges in Nepal. So there I did bachelor's in ethical hacking and cybersecurity. And I had no any plan before uh, I joined that college that I'll be in the cybersecurity domain. And soon after completing my bachelor's, I started doing teaching assistantship and lecturer in the same college. And I was pretty sure that I want to get into this academia field during my third semester. It was like realizing that I want to be in the academia and research field. So I prepared myself according to that goal. So from that day, I started doing research. How to do? I started searching for how to publish research publication in venues like IEEE and other. Then I focused more on my college projects. Most of the students, uh, what they do is they take the college projects very lightly, but that shouldn't happen because those college projects, they can help you. They might help you get scholarships and other fundings during your further higher studies.
I see. And you said a little about side channel attacks. Could you please elaborate on that and why does it matter in the real world so much? What are side channel attacks?
So side channel attack sounds very technical, but the basic understanding of side channel attack is pretty simple. So side channel are kind of unintended channel or medium that can leak sensitive information. For example, if you are running some program or if you are typing some password, each and every instruction or the program uh, will be running into the CPU processor, and there will be uh, small traces like timing, power consumption, or infrared radiations, something like that. So that can give an attacker much more information, like sensitive information like cryptographic keys of RSA or AES, browsing information, and other information like keystrokes. So yeah, this is such an attack in a vague term, if I have to say.
Yep. And okay, since you're a researcher now, could you please walk us through your day to day? How does your typical day look like?
So currently, I just completed my intermediate comprehensive exam in on August. So right now at the start of my second year. So during my first year, I was working from office. So I used to go to university. I used to wake up, have some breakfast, and go to university. Spend the entire day in the university, doing some literature review or research stuff. Then but right now my current day to day uh routine is bit different because I'm working from home currently. So there is no timing setup like I'll do this at this time, I'll do this. So yeah, it's basically I just study the entire day. As soon as I wake up, I grab some tea and coffee, then hopping to the desk to do some literature review. So yeah, on an average, I spend around 12 to 15 hours per day just studying. Yeah.
Another question for you regarding AI, since AI is so prevalent these days in every aspect, and probably both attackers and defenders are also using it in cybersecurity. Could you please enlighten me about this if you know anything about it and how AI is changing the way security threats are created or prevented?
Yes. So I'll be honest. I do not have any direct deep expertise in artificial intelligence, but I've been following what's happening in the field of cybersecurity because of the AI, and I've been watching how the artificial intelligence is actually pushing the boundaries. So there's a tool called Expo, which is an AI agent built by some of the veteran penetration tester and the bug bounty hunters. So Expo was at the number one position in HackerRank. And if you don't know about HackerRank, it's a bug bounty platform where multiple companies they actually provide their domains to bug bounty hunters to search for the vulnerabilities, and they will pay them money as the bug bounty. So yeah, just imagine like an AI isn't surpassing each and every like well experienced with decades of experience people bounty hunters in
Yeah.
this kind of field. So yeah, it is kind of scary. And also to add up, I just recently came across a research paper called Cyber Auto Agent. So it is also a similar kind of AI agent like the Expo, but uh, the thing is it is completely open source and it claims that it matches the benchmark of the Expo. So since it is open source, it is also a ethical concern that bad actor may also use it for uh, vulnerability hunting. So yeah.
Yeah, and interestingly, like after connecting with you, I also did a little bit of research and I found two applications where basically AI was used in kind of like cybersecurity area, where one was an example of how they were using Wi-Fi signals and images of the room to basically train a model to then get new Wi-Fi signals, and based on that try to create the entire room, or at least tell how many people are in the room. And another example that I saw was one where they actually trained a AI model with keyboard stroke sounds, audios, and then anytime a new person would basically type something on the keyboard, then that AI model could actually predict what you're typing as well. Do you consider these as cybersecurity AI threats, or how do you think this is going to progress?
So the
Will it get more sci-fi as it goes, where we can't literally do anything? Like, how deep do you think cybersecurity will affect each and every one of our lives?
first one about the Wi-Fi, both of them are actually true. The one with the keystroke, it is actually a kind of side channel text that uh, we are also doing research on. Wi-Fi is basically radio waves like any other waves. It also bounces through here and there in our room. It gets absorbed by things in the environment, including our body. Uh, uh, so based on this fluctuation, if there is any human being using the Wi-Fi and he or she moves here and there, it disrupts that continuous pattern of the waves that is currently going on. So based on this information, we can actually know that the exact geolocation of that person inside the room or inside the building. And another thing that you talked about, the keystroke, the keyboard, is this is also one of the project that we are planning to do as a small side project. So
Yeah.
it is actually captures the sounds of the each and every keystrokes. Also, it captures the speed of the typing. So based on this information, they actually decode which key has been pressed.
Yes.
So it is Yeah, it is basically completely possible. The keyboard thing is actually a complete pure side channel attack. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's really crazy. And when I think of cybersecurity, I usually only think about some, I don't know, like terminal, some command line interface where they are just typing some random code and getting access into things. But now when we look at how it's being used, uh, like like you said, like Wi-Fi signals travel through us. So it's more like physics also, right? It's more like other domains are also there, and basically researchers are finding ways to come up with new ways to do many things. Like, could you give any more example about how, let's say, physics is being used to hack a computer, let's say?
Yeah. So since so my current research is on cache-based side channel attacks. So we have to deep very near to the hardware level. And there is one attack called row hammer attack. So it is an attack on our main memory, which we also call RAM, random access memory. So it actually involves a little bit of physics as well. So those people who don't know how the RAM is designed, so RAM is actually designed in a row based. So each and every row they consist of the data, actual data, which is in the binary from either 0 or 1. So what row hammer does is it continuously keeps on hammering certain rows again and again and again. And those rows are just some capacitor and transistor. So capacitor is used to hold the electrical charge, and once is it discharged, the bits actually flips from 1 to 0 or 0 to 1. So what it does is, what row hammer does is continuously hammers the some particular rows so that it can actually flip the bits on the other rows as well. So it means that if you have access to some row, you can actually flip the bits on the other rows that might be in use by some privileged program. So yeah, this is an example that involves a little bit of physics in here. And further talking about mathematics is also very widely used in cybersecurity. For example, if you have developed some protocol, let's say there is SSL, TSL, TLS protocol. So basically, even before launching this kind of protocol, they do some kind of testing using formal methods, and formal methods are very mathematical heavy stuffs. We just recently submitted one of our research paper about security analysis of caches. So it was also very mathematical heavy. So it was my first time getting very close to the mathematics in this cybersecurity domain. Yeah. So
Yeah, but
generally, yeah.
it's really interesting that so many domains come together. We talk about mathematics, physics, AI, and the other budding topic that is coming into discussions these days is quantum computing. Like, they say that it's going to be a game changer for encryption and security, and probably it's going to cause some chaos as well. Like, at least that's what I'm hearing. But what is your perspective as a cybersecurity researcher? How do you think quantum computing is going to shape your
So
field?
yeah, I'll be honest again. I do not have a deep expertise in quantum computing, but there is also a big threat to quantum computing because of the side channel attacks. So I vaguely follow what's actually happening here. So from what I understand is the threat from the quantum computing to the present cryptographical models like AES, RS is act- real, and quantum computers they actually have the potential to break these kind of encryption completely in very less time. So once scalable quantum computers they become practical, these algorithm can be easily cracked. So that's why researchers they have already started working on something called post quantum cryptography. So this kind of cryptographical algorithm can actually resist the attacks from quantum computers. So I about panicking, but it's about preparing early. Yes.
I would just like to ask you, can you name one tool as a cybersecurity researcher, a hardware or a software that you absolutely can't live without?
Software, I'll say C and C++ because I have
Okay, yeah.
been programming in C and C++. It is very important for my PhD because we are deep diving into very low level of the computer system. And talking about hardware, uh, I will say CAS because my research is based on CAS-based site channel attacks. So yeah.
Okay, so my next question is, what's one must-read research paper that you recommend every newcomer, and why is it so essential? Or any one of your favorite paper that you'd like to recommend us?
So I just talk about Hammer. That is one of my favorite research papers to read. It's pretty fun to read that. And another is a research paper called Plus Reload. So basically, it is an attack on cache, CPU caches, which uses the shared memory nature of our computer system to extract sensitive information like cryptographic keys from RSA and AES. And this paper is also authored by Daniel Gruss. So I highly recommend these two papers to read. And if you want further more papers, there are many more other papers based on like attacks like prime prime and probe, prime probe, and a lot of the list goes on and on.
Okay, that's interesting. Do send me some of the links so that I can put it on the description. But now I would like to ask you a question about you as a researcher. What is that one single habit or skill that you've developed over the years which you think is the most essential for you? And how can any other researcher who is trying to get into, or a student who is trying to be a researcher, how can he adopt that into his life and, yeah, become a researcher basically?
So I say patience and discipline. If you have both of these things, then this will help in a very long run. It is good to get motivated from some things or some quotes out there in the internet, but motivation is kind of temporary for me. If you are disciplined, it will help you in the long run. So, uh, because while researching, there might be various unknown circumstances that might set you down. So in those kind of situation, you have to be patient. So you have to maintain that persistency of your work so that you never give up on the midway. So yeah, I'll say
Yeah, exactly. Could you please go through your journey from bachelor's to master's to PhD and talk about some of your own projects that you're doing which you love?
okay. So my journey might sound like kind of made up, but it is actually what it is. So I did my, m- I completed my master's in, my bachelor's in one of the colleges in Nepal. And while I was doing my bachelor there, I started doing teaching assistantship and finally became a lecturer in the same college.
Mm.
So during my undergrad, I actually did few of the projects that were really impactful, that has been impactful, that is still impactful in my portfolio. So one of the project was a project called Real World Project. So it was a teamwork project. So what we basically did was we made a network penetration testing tool. So it was uh, kind of finding vulnerabilities in the data link layer of the OSI model. So it was a big success for us. Then moving on, when I became a lecturer, I actually supervised three of my students, and we did a project on wireless Wi-Fi 2.4 penetration testing. Uh, and yes, shout out to my three students, Bisal,
Yeah.
Anis, and Nisu. So we made Wi-Fi attacking watts. It was a
Mm.
portable watts that we made from the scratch using ESP32 development board. And another project we did was it was related to monitoring the entire channels of the 2.4 GHz. So it will keep on monitoring the entire information that you send or get to and from the routers. So yeah, these projects has always been helping me uh,
Yeah.
in this entire journey.
Yeah. And then after After you finished your bachelor's from Nepal, what was the next step that you took that landed you to a university in Canada?
So I was actually when I returned back from the France, the only thing that was on my mind is if I have to do further study after bachelor, I wouldn't spend a penny from my pocket, or I wouldn't ask any money from my parents. So I was like very hungry for the scholarships and funding.
Yeah.
And I actually started it early during my third semester, that I want to build a portfolio so that I can actually secure some really good scholarship and fundings. So during that process, I almost met 200 professors in Canada, and just shortlisting professors and shortlisting university, it took me around 2 weeks, because you cannot just randomly email any professor or choose any university that do not have any course that is of your interest. So yeah, I emailed 200 professors, and from 200 professor, I got reply from around 20 of them, and most of them, they were retiring or they do not have any funds to supervise me. So I got interviewed by three different professors from different universities, and got landed into University of Ottawa, which is one of the top universities there in Canada.
Yeah. And there, what were the projects that you did while you were in your master's?
So during my master's, my thesis was about intrusion detection system for smart homes. So I was building a machine learning model that can actually detect if there is any intrusion inside the IoT system of the smart home. But unfortunately, I dropped my master's in Canada as well, and I came
Okay.
to UK for the PhD.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
So there's a misconception in Nepal that a 3-year bachelor degree cannot get into a really good university, but that's completely wrong. Some university, they might have that uh, requirement to have you must have 4-year bachelor degree, but many of the university, they do accept 3-year bachelor degree. But saying that having a bachelor degree on your hand is not enough. You have to be you need to have some kind of skills, like a research skill, some kind of really good and tangible projects during your undergrad or master's degree as well. So yeah, I actually did my PhD directly from bachelor's degree, even though I was doing master's. I eventually dropped. So yeah, it is completely possible.
And this is one thing that fascinates me when it comes to researchers. They are always tasked with a very heavy burden of having to create some new knowledge for the world. How do you actually come up with these new ideas? What is the process? How do you come up with these new techniques to do these new stuff that the world probably has never seen? What's your approach to that?
Uh, so in order to do or like develop something novel, I think, for in my opinion, this can be different as per the researcher. But in my opinion, I prioritize literature review a lot. I do a lot of literature review so that I can know what's actually happening in that specific domain and specific area. And by doing this, I can also know that what's the gap in their solution, or what's the gap in the entire domain. So yeah, I think for me, it's the literature review that like drives me to the novelty. Yeah.
I do have one last question for you because a lot of people might be interested in what you're doing and whoever's watching would want some tips from you. So if you have any tips at the end that you want to share to be a cybersecurity engineer or a researcher, could you please share it with us right now?
So being in the academia and the research field, to the audience, to the students listening to this, what I will say is, if you're still on your bachelor, cybersecurity itself, the word is very vague. You have to be find something that is very specific in research. So try to start this early. Try to find your field of subdomain inside the cybersecurity, because there are a lot of subdomains like penetration testing, red teaming, blue teaming, GRC, wireless penetration testing, and the list goes on and on. So try to know what your true interest is actually. Uh, so yeah, if you do that, you'll be very focused on that specific purpose. So you'll have no distraction. You'll not be into a lot of dilemma to whether go here or whether choose this subdomain.
Yeah,
So, and yeah, of course, the patience and the discipline, it must be always there.
exactly. And the other thing that they would want to do is also connect with you, because in Gurukul Collective, we're trying to create a network of mentors who can actually, help other students out. So if they want to reach out to you for any questions or anything, where can they reach you?
I y- uh, I'm first of all, I will be really happy to help upcoming students who are very interested into the research, especially in this cybersecurity domain. So they can reach out to me on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So yeah, you heard it from the man. You can reach out to him in LinkedIn. I wish all the viewers that are watching right now the best. And yeah, thank you, Pratik, again for your time. It was very insightful. I mean, we were trying to do this for a long time. It finally happened, and we did had some, yeah, minor technical issues. But yeah, we finally did it, and I'm very happy. Thank you for your time.